So guys, we're not far away from the Gervonta Tank Davis Rolly Romero fight. So I'm just going to be giving you lot the keys to victory for both men. Now let's start with Gervonta Tank Davis because I think this is much more simple. Other than Gamboa and Isaac Pitbull Cruz, those fights were pretty much anomalies. Gervonta Tank Davis, actually I don't know how tall Gamboa is, but we know that Pitbull Cruz was definitely shorter than Tank Davis. Tank Davis is used to fighting taller, rangier guys such as Rolly Romero. He's used to fighting guys within that height range. Isaac Pitbull Cruz, which was a much more sophisticated fighter for Tank because he is shorter. Tank is not necessarily trying to close the distance. In that fight, he was fighting on the inside, he was using the ropes, he was trying to showcase a lot of boxing skills, and from what we know that his hand swelled up, he was physically impaired, and he wasn't able to stop Isaac Pitbull Cruz. But that's not the important thing. The important thing is getting the W. And he showed that he had a lot of heart, and he was able to get through that fight. But Rolly Romero is a completely different fighter. As I said, he's a rangier guy, so Tank Davis is going to have to apply pressure and come on the inside. He's going to have to be sophisticated because we've seen with someone like Oscar Valdez, he was not able to get on the inside of Shakur Stevenson and cause any problems. Tank is going to have to be bobbing, weaving, and slipping some punches at a normal rate. I don't want you guys to think of Mike Tyson clip where he goes crazy. Just in a normal way, moving his head in a normal fashion, because the way Tyson used to move his head was very unorthodox. Tank Davis is much more conventional in terms of his pressure fighting style. He comes forward, he moves his upper body, and then he looks for counter punches. He's someone, he can be a out and out pressure fighter, or he can be like a front foot counter puncher, and there is a difference because an out and out pressure fighter is someone who looks to just put pressure on their opponent and doesn't look to counter. They look more to give their opponent a punch. Maybe I'm going to take 2-3 punches in order to land a bigger punch. That's what I expect from an orthodox, a conventional type of pressure fighter. However, you've got front foot counter punches like Andy Ruiz, who is shorter. He doesn't have the distance, but he likes to get within range, bait his opponent, and then counter. I feel like Tank can do a little bit of both in the fight against Rolly Romero. If he is desperate, if he wants to get to Rolly Romero quick, then he might even have to take a couple of shots, which sounds crazy because the point of boxing is to not get hit. But he's such at a disadvantage in terms of his height and reach. Sometimes you may just have to be willing to take the risk. But I feel like it's safer for him to be a little bit more methodical with his pressure and try to counter Rolly Romero, because we see that Rolly Romero puts pretty much everything into his punches. This is someone who can gas out, he can miss, and who looks as a person who is very, very easy to counter. At least from the eye test, it looks like Tank should be landing counters on Rolly Romero all night. So for me, Tank has got to apply the pressure. He's got to be sophisticated and careful. And I want to see him doing a lot of front foot counter punching, because I feel like there will be opportunities for him to counter punch. He won't do a lot of boxing. Maybe in the first 2-3 rounds, he'll try to figure him out. So do not be surprised if Tank is down after 2, 3, even 4 rounds, because he can't just go in there like a headless chicken. He's got to be sophisticated and figure out patterns and certain things that Rolly Romero possesses. Now guys, I want to shift the focus onto Rolly Romero. So Romero, when I see him, he's someone who puts a lot into his punches, and I don't think that is conducive for long-term success, because as you get older and you're not as energetic, you don't have the testosterone, you could say, you don't have the ability to sustain that. And even at this age, he will not be able to keep that up for the whole fight. He's going to gas, he's going to miss punches, he's probably going to start throwing punches out of range, and he's going to be very, very vulnerable to counter shots. And I don't know why, but I can envision a situation where, he gets hit with a very, very bad uppercut from Gervonta Tank Davis, where Tank just slips and bang, times him and hits him clean on the chin. So for Rolly Romero, I would say that he has to use his range. He has to box Tank Davis, but don't completely abandon your style, because he is proven that he is good at what he does. He does have 12 knockouts in very few fights. So if I were Rolly Romero, I would at times box Tank Davis and then really step on the gas and try to land big punches. Mix it up. There's not one specific thing that he has to do. It's not like he should just try to land big power punches, and it's not like just he should try to, on the other hand, outbox Tank Davis and not really try to put too much power on his punches. No. Use your jab, move around the ring, and then when you feel like Tank Davis, you've got him in a good position, land combinations, but don't put absolutely everything into your power punches, because you just leave yourself vulnerable to counter shots from Tank Davis. And this guy, Tank Davis, this guy is absolutely brutal counter puncher. We've seen how he knocked out Leo Santa Cruz, how he slipped that punch and bang, he hit him with a beautiful uppercut. So if you're going to go into the ring and throw punches that are out of range, or gas yourself out by throwing too many heavy punches, trying to be too heavy-handed, throwing windmills, acting like an air conditioner in the ring, missing, Tank Davis will make you pay. So the most important thing for Romero is to establish your range, box a little bit, and also throw big, unorthodox punches when you feel like you're in a good position, because it's important for boxers to be able to make it up as they go along. I don't believe a boxer should be a robot and you have to throw this punch in this specific moment. No, you need to know what you need to do, and your coach will not be able to give you a game plan or advise you for every scenario in the fight. You have to have the knowledge of when to throw a certain punch and how to adapt to your opponent, throughout the fight, because your opponent might be very vulnerable in one stage of the fight and they can recover and then they can put it on you. So Rolly Romero, use your jab, move around, and throw power punches when you have to. Push Tank Davis back on occasions, because that's probably something he's not used to. Make him have to fight on the back foot. You actually come at Tank Davis and hit him with a shot, hit him with a big right hand, and make him move back. Make him respect your power. You claim that you are a big, big puncher, so let's see it. Land a big power shot, force Tank Davis back. If Tank Davis rallies a few punches, if you see him gaining momentum, clinch, move around the ring, and make this guy frustrated. So it's difficult because people will ask you for your predictions, and I touched on this a couple videos ago. I don't remember exactly what video, but I say that predictions are always going to be predicated based off the assumption a fighter fights a certain way. So what I mean is, I might make a prediction because I believe Rolly Romero will fight a certain way, and he might fight a totally different way. And a good example of this was the second Wilder Fury fight. I don't want to repeat myself, but we all thought Fury would fight a certain way, and he pretty much fought the exact opposite way. So it's difficult. I might say that, oh yeah, Romero's going to do exactly what he does normally, throw big power punches, and if he were to approach the fight like that, he's going to get knocked out. Tank Davis will catch him with a vicious counter punch, and it'll be night for Rolly Romero. So I think if he is smart, he should incorporate a bit of boxing, a bit of moving around the ring, but also do what he does best, because you don't want to completely abandon what you're good at just because you feel as Tank is a dangerous fighter. And for Gervonta Tank Davis, it's pretty much obvious what he needs to do, knowing his body composition and his general makeup. He's got to come forward and put pressure, but again, be sophisticated. Try to look for counters because I feel like Rolly will open up and he'll definitely gas out. And if Rolly is just going to fight aggressively and he isn't trying to box and move around the ring, Tank will stop him in the middle rounds. If Rolly Romero just tries to box, Tank will get to him as well. The only chance I see for Romero winning this fight is if he incorporates a bit of boxing and throwing power punches, where he doesn't just try to move around the ring for 12 rounds and jab. He do a little bit of that and throw some power punches, push Tank back, put him in uncomfortable position, hold him, clinch. If Rolly Romero is able to do that, he does have he has a chance of beating Tank Davis. He has a very good chance, but he needs to be very sophisticated because Tank is probably going to think that, yeah, this guy is just going to try to throw big punches, surprise him. It's going to shock Tank Davis. Tank Davis probably won't fathom the idea, that Rolly Romero will try to box him. So be slick, box on the outside, come forward, push Tank back a few times. When Tank does gather momentum, because he will have his success in this fight, clinch on him, lean on him, make him frustrated. So yeah, I don't necessarily want to make an out-and-out prediction because, as I said, I don't know how Romero in particular will approach the fight. But if Romero does what I say and he tries to move around the ring, he incorporates pushing Tank Davis back, clinching, frustrating Tank, this could be a very difficult fight for Tank Davis. If he tries to box completely, Tank will get to him. And if he tries to just be aggressive and land big punches, Tank will also knock him out. So that's my prediction, guys. Please like, comment, subscribe, and tell me what you think, because a lot of people are giving Tank the edge in this fight, saying, Tank is a complete favorite, that Rolly Romero doesn't have a chance. But don't underestimate Rolly, because you never know what can happen in boxing. Alright guys, peace.